Social media, of course, a big part of our coverage. We've been chatting with some of you on Twitter.
We want to check in with Stephanie Strickland now, who is tracking it all for us in the Social Media Center. Steph.
Let's go ahead and broaden out the shot so you get a sense of what we're talking about tonight. We call it 3-screen coverage here in the Social Media Center. We have everything for you from Twitter, including our Facebook page, as well as our website. And this is really where we are talking with you to give you real-time results in addition to additional information, more coverage than what NBC National is giving you when it comes to the race for the president. Now, of course, the race for president is monumentally important, but there are a lot of local races and issues that will be decided tonight that are really important. Let me direct your attention over here to our Facebook question. This is the first of many that we'll be discussing with you tonight. And what we want to know is which race, other than the president, are you most interested in and why? And we will bring you some of those updates and your answers just a little bit later. On Twitter, 2 things very briefly to tell you. We want you to follow at KGW Politics. This is it right here, as well as the hashtag #ORElection. Let us know what you think. Let's toss it back to you.
A lot of turnout on our Facebook page, too. We asked which race, other than for president, are you most interested in? David says all the tax measures. I just got my property tax.
Yeah, ouch, huh? Katie says schools and arts. Why aren't schools put first no matter what?
Joe says Secretary of State and Portland Mayor.
Nancy says marijuana initiative, safer than booze and a natural substance. Don't know why it is illegal.
And in Washington, Rachel says R74. That's the same-sex marriage issue. Clark County Commissioner races, governor race, and the marijuana one.
This is shaping up to be the biggest night ever for Twitter.
Yeah, and we are going to continue to include that in our coverage. Stephanie Strickland is following election night from KGW Social Media Center. Steph?
11 million tweets so far. Isn't that wild? Take a look right here. This is where you can follow what we are up to tonight. At KGW Politics is the account where we are sending out results. Also tweets that include photos from our reporters. This is a photo from Abby Gibb, who is at Republican headquarters showing the crew getting ready for the night. Also, we have a photo from Pat Doris, who is at Democratic headquarters. You can see it right there. And now we'll turn to Facebook comments. Earlier, we asked what you were interested in beyond the presidential race. And here's what you said. You actually told us, coming to us from Krista, Washington's R74 that Tim Gordon just mentioned, marriage equality for all. And then also we got a comment from Jaron saying the race to see whether marijuana gets legalized.
Well, as we wait for the local results, we are asking on Facebook, what are you interested in besides the race for president? Dawn says Southwest Washington Senate races. How many Democrats, Republicans will be sending to Washington?
Eric says Secretary of State and Labor Commissioner.
Tracy says Portland Mayor. I could not vote for either buffoon, so I wrote in Eileen Brady, in her words. We'll see what happens.
And that wasn't me, Tracy, just so you know. Claudette says measures for the Grange. I live in Wood Village, and I'm curious as how this will all turn out.
Let's go in and check with Stephanie Strickland. I know Steph's been watching the social media aspect of our coverage tonight.
Lit up all night, right, Steph?
At one point, my Twitter feed was moving so fast, I just gave up trying to read it. It was absolutely not going to happen. And by the way, I'll tell you guys, if Romney does, in fact, take the stage, you jump right in and cut me off because I have lots of things I want to talk to you about tonight, but I will wrap it up right away so we can make sure to get to that very important news. We've called this here our social media center for the night, and it's where we're tracking lots of different things going on in social media. One of the first things I want to direct you to right here is the Twitter handle that we've been using all night tonight, which is at KGW Politics. But in particular, this is what President Barack Obama tweeted about just a short time after the media projections started coming in, calling, in fact, the race for him in terms of the Electoral College vote. We should tell you, too, at this point, it appears that he is also now ahead in the popular vote as well, something I've seen moving on Twitter. But here's his tweet. You know it's him because he signs it by saying BO there on the end. He says, "We're all in this together." That's how he campaigned, and that's who we are. Thank you. And then the campaign stepped in after that and followed up with a picture of the president hugging the First Lady, saying 4 more years. We peeked in on Mitt Romney's page. I did just a couple seconds ago before I walked over here, and he has not tweeted at this point anything, nor has his campaign that I saw in the past few hours. So we're all waiting to see what happens when he takes the stage, if that in fact happens here in the next few minutes. Let's talk about the impact of social media on the election tonight. If you look at the statistics coming from the Twitter page that tracks all this, the numbers are amazing. It says right here that Barack Obama's re-election was by far the most tweeted moment of election 2012, a peak of 327,000 tweets per minute. That is absolutely amazing. And we want to let you know as well that there are lots of opportunities for you to weigh in. If you're on Twitter, you can use the hashtag #ORElection. That's a great way to let us know what you're up to. And then additionally, we have our Facebook page set up where all night long we have been trying to engage you and get your comments on lots of things that are going on, including what's going on with the presidential race and lots of local races as well. And then you can always find great information on our website at kgw.com. And that extends also to your iPad, iPhone, whatever mobile devices you are using. We have lots of supplemental coverage for you there as well. So that's a look at what's going on in the social media center. With that, I will send it back to you in the studio, and let's see what happens here in the next few minutes.
I'm sorry, Steph, I'm on Twitter. Can you
know.
just keep talking for
Well,
a few
I see
minutes?
where
Okay.
NBC News
PDXP
is now
Talk.
tweeting that the Romney has called President Obama and has conceded and is expected to speak here momentarily. In the meantime, we can talk a little bit about social media because we've really never seen an election night like this.
No, it's actually just historic when it comes to Twitter anyway, which is informative. And I must say, Steph, hilarious at times.
It is hilarious at times, and if you want to talk about the speed of information moving, it will absolutely boggle the mind. And tonight really demonstrated that, the power of social media, and not just Twitter. We are talking about Facebook, and we are also, in this case, talking about Flickr. Here's what our producer Ben found for us. A photo posted on the White House Flickr account taken moments after he learned that he was going to have another 4 years in office. And then to show you a little bit about Twitter, he actually tweeted, and you know it's him tweeting when he signs his initials at the end. He said, you know, we're all in this together. That's how we campaign, and that's who we are. Thank you. We do want to tell you, we checked Mitt Romney's Twitter account. We all know that he gave his concession speech, and at this point, we haven't seen anything coming from his Twitter account. Tracy, you talked about how many people were using social media and how fast. Let me just give you a Twitter statistic, and this really breaks it down. The Twitter government page says that basically it saw a peak of 327,000 tweets per minute following Barack Obama's re-election. Most tweeted moment by far of election 2012, as you might imagine. But just the sheer numbers of that are absolutely staggering. And now I want to bring you over here to the other side of our social media center and talk a little bit about a question I posed on my Facebook account. I asked folks how they felt about the outcome of the election. And Greg D says, I'm personally happy that Obama won. For me and my family, it means the country is headed in the right direction. I would, however, like the hate and the vitriol to stop. We're all in this together. And if we can show the next comment that we have, this one coming to us from cable guy Chris, basically saying, you know, it means I know we're in store for 4 more years of partisan fighting, nothing being accomplished. Just briefly, you guys, really quickly, I just want to tell you, if you haven't downloaded the KGW News app, you really should. It's loaded with wonderful election coverage, all sorts of things that you could possibly want to know about the election, local races, and more, all there for you. Let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Steph.
On it right now.
Well, a big part of our coverage is on the web, what the candidates are saying online, and of course, your reaction.
Let's check back with Stephanie Strickland in our social media center. Steph?
The Social Media Center has been a really interesting asset for us tonight, just to watch and engage people in the conversation. One of the things we wanted to show you is a tweet coming to us from Mayor-elect Charlie Hales, and you can see it right there, basically saying, Hales, yeah, thank you, Portland. And then just a short while ago, KGW's Kyla Boshi tweeted this photo. This is of the mayor-elect and his wife celebrating with a dance. It is a very nice photo. And then Jefferson Smith, the campaign there, issuing a classy Twitter response after the numbers came in, tweeting, for a city that works better for everyone, keep going forward. Thank you, Portland. By the way, the political discussion doesn't end just because tonight is winding down. You can continue to follow us at KGW Politics to stay on top of all of the breaking news that's going to continue over the next few days, certainly into the next few weeks as well. But in the meantime, thank you for being a part of our coverage in this social media experiment, if you will. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Steph. I had to nudge Joe to get his head up out of Twitter
I know,
to say thank you.
It has been interesting for sure.